Hey guys, back to House Edge. This is our week 3 college football, week 4 NFL. Oh, other way around.
Opposite, brother.
So, before we get into that, like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter and TikTok. All these links are in the description down below. How you doing, Bert?
Doing good, dude. Tiring day today, flying over for work, whatever. But we're here, ready to talk some football before Thursday night. I'm excited. We got some good college football ahead of us this week. Some crazy stuff going on in the NFL last week. Uh,
Yeah,
let's get right into it. Anthony Richardson, dude. Before that concussion, I mean, he's looking like the best quarterback out of the draft, straight up.
yeah. I was hesitant to say it last week, but I think for sure now we got to steal. He's gonna be the best quarterback out of this draft. The only question becomes, can he stay healthy? This is back-to-back weeks. He's been knocked out of the game. Um, this week he got knocked out with a concussion. It was self-reported. He went over to the coaches and told them that he had a concussion. So that's, up on his
hmm
player safety, but he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah, I remember months back, like back when the college football season had just ended. I was in a shuttle with a client and the guy driving the shuttle for Hilton, and we were talking about the draft, and I said, "Yeah, Anthony Richardson is going to be the best quarterback to come out of this draft," and they both laughed at me. They both laughed.
I mean, he
Look where we are
wasn't
now.
that great in Florida.
Yeah,
He
he
wasn't that
wasn't.
great in
He wasn't.
Florida. Yeah, and also last week we saw the Chargers still continue to struggle. I just don't know what's going on, man. Like, why can't this defense do it for the offense one time?
They have
Like,
so much talent. They have talent even on a defensive side of the football, but they just cannot. They can't get a win to save their lives, man. It just doesn't work.
yeah, it really bit me out. I had thought that Chargers -3 was locked away, but here we go in overtime, and then I didn't even see the Chargers with the ball. We didn't even get that on the NFL Run, so
Yeah,
that's how
I'm.
bad that drive was.
I might. I might be taking the Chargers again this week. Honestly, just I think the
Against the Vikings,
Vikings.
it's a
Yeah,
rough game. I mean, I wouldn't expect either of those teams to be 0-2 coming into that game.
yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
If you're betting that game seriously, like it's a complete coin flip. There's no way to handicap this game, right? You need help if you're betting this game. But I'm probably gonna bet it.
Yeah.
My
Oh man.
boy Joey B down again. A disappointing loss to the Ravens at home. 0-2 on the season. 0-2 in conference play. Am I worried? A little bit. A little bit,
Yeah.
right?
I
We
mean,
started last year 0-2 as well. This year feels a little bit different. Watching both games in full, it feels a little bit different. This team cannot figure it out. They need to change something up about their identity, the way they do things. It's not working.
yeah, the offense is definitely not clicking right now. Um, Jamar
Defense is
Chase
playing.
almost looking invisible on the field. Like,
Yeah.
they've got to figure out what's going on. Hopefully, once Joe Burrow gets to 100%, that maybe that'll help him out. But it does seem like it's deeper than just a little bit of an injured Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Team has fundamental problems that they need to figure out, but it's not like they haven't had that in the last couple of years and gone on a 10-game win streak before the playoffs, right? So we'll see.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, sad seeing him go out. The last 4 Monday nights, I think, have had season-ending injuries to somebody. I
Oh,
think it's
really?
been
Wow. I
DeMar
didn't realize that.
Hamlin, it's been Aaron Rodgers, and then now Nick Chubb.
Wow.
Last 3 Monday night footballs, and I think the one before that was actually Kyler Murray as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, that's kind of crazy. And you would think, with the extra days of rest, that it would be
Mm-hmm.
less injuries, but
Mm-hmm.
right there on prime time, we're seeing all these big
Yep.
injuries. I don't know what the Browns are gonna do without Nick Chubb. Once
I
Nick
think
Chubb
they'll be
left that
fine.
game on Monday, they looked so discombobulated. Like, you wouldn't think that they had Deshaun Watson on their team. Um, you would think they would go to a pass first system and he would thrive at that, like he did in Houston. But the Steelers' defense was just too much.
Yeah, I think the Browns' problem resides way more in Deshaun Watson than it does in their running back. I think the running back plug and play, Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, who they just signed, I think both of them are going to be fine. But Deshaun Watson, like, for somebody who took time off the game, I haven't seen somebody that looks like they took such a step back as Deshaun Watson does right now. Like, he looks bad, man. Especially the end of that last game. He really let us down.
He really let
Had
us
my
down.
parlay riding on it and your pick riding on it. It's crazy. How could he?
Through the first 2 weeks, we've seen that Cowboys defense look amazing. Micah Parsons, leader of that defense, just flying all over the field. Granted, it's been against these Jets and the Giants, so they went and beat up on the two pretty bad New York teams. But you still got to give them credit for what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're my Super Bowl pick this year. I think that team is going to run the NFC straight up. When they play the real teams, you'll see it.
Yeah, we'll have to see them against the real teams. I don't
Right?
see them
Because
winning
we
that
we
division.
saw what the Bills offense was able to do against that Jets defense. Then we saw what the Cowboys offense did versus that Jets defense. It was two completely different stories, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the Bills looked like themselves last week. I don't know. Maybe it just took them a week to get up to speed.
Well, that Eagles Cowboys games are going to be very interesting this year. I still give the Eagles the up and up in that division over the Cowboys, but they are playing some great defense.
It's fair. Yeah, Justin Fields and the Bears. What a disappointment again. He was so overhyped. People talking about putting MVP plays on him, MVP bets on him.
Yeah, that's way too much.
Come on, man. I mean, he's talking about his coaches being the problem. The coaches are not the problem. Like, watch some of the film and you'll see that he's just not making reads. He's got the most time in the world.
I
Receivers
don't know if
getting
he has the
separation.
most time in the world. It's definitely been a mix of the two. I mean, I was watching today on some sports show. The Bears have had 5 QB runs this season. Like, if you got Justin Fields as your quarterback, you got to be throwing in some QB runs as the offensive coordinator. So, like, I can see why he's saying, I'm feeling robotic, not playing like myself. They definitely have to start adding in his game into their offense.
It's fair.
Um,
Yeah.
but it has been bleak for the Bears. Um, so hopefully we'll see what they're going to do against the Chiefs. That
Yeah.
could be a
The Bears are the only team that has not won a game since October 2022.
oh God. Oh man,
It's been a year. They haven't won a
that's
game in a year.
that's pretty tragic. They
And
got to
they're
get one
they're
before
not going to win
October.
this week. They're not winning this week, right? Which means their next win will either be in October of 2023 or later. It will have filled up one calendar year.
I got to see their schedule for the next couple weeks now.
Yeah, they got the Chiefs. Then they play at home Broncos on October 1st at the Commanders. And then the Vikings at
And
home.
Vikings.
They might
And the
not win
Raiders.
any of these games. They seriously might lose every game. I'm looking at their
They'll get
schedule.
the Broncos. They'll get the Broncos. They'll get it before the year, or at the year on the Raiders. I'll give them that. You said October 22nd.
No,
They play the
October
Raiders on the 22nd.
2022. I'm not sure
Oh,
when it
okay,
was.
22. My bad.
I'm looking back now. They beat the Patriots on October 24th, 2022. And they've
So they
lost
have to
every
be
game
good.
since.
Oh man, that's
That is tough.
a very surprising little
Tough
nugget
sledding for Bear fans.
there.
Yep.
Ouch.
Oh man. Then we got
And the Giants sneak by the Cardinals. I had my survivor pick on this. So I was really worried that was a straight donation, but there they come in the fourth quarter with the comebacks in them to get that field goal. But
Danny
this,
Dimes, dude.
but this team isn't right. Like,
Maybe that second half was the spark that they needed to get on the right track, but I don't know, man. Maybe it's just not working. Danny Dimes is not the answer. Saquon is hurt. Matt Breida getting the start this week. Oh, and they're just
yeah.
about to play the 49ers defense. I think it's going to be a slaughter tonight.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a straight
I'm
up slaughter.
Yeah, and they already paid Daniel Jones, so I don't. There's no backing out of that. That's your quarterback now, at least for the next. You got to think at least the next 3 years out of that four, they're gonna have to pay him.
Poor New York football fans, man. They are going through it. Oh boy. All right. Let's get into our records from last week. We had a tough week overall. 2-7 on NFL plays, 3-3 on college football plays. Better on college football, but NFL was tough sledding. 2-3 on my part, 1-4 from Rob, 2-1 for me in college football, 1-2 from Rob. The reason some of those might not make sense is because we had some common plays.
Yeah. We're just gonna wash away this week. That's what you have to do with your bad weeks. You just wash them away, go into the next week stronger. You never stop playing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the fun in it. All right. Our common play this week in the NFL, we have the Washington Commanders, 6.5-point underdogs. Eric B., Sam Howell, they're making it work. I don't understand why they're 6.5-point underdogs. That's too many points for me.
Yeah, 6.5 is way too much. I can see it. I see what they're thinking with that Bills offense, but we have seen a very sneaky Washington D cause some problems in the first 2 weeks, and Sam Howell has been better than expected over these first couple weeks. So I'm thinking that we can definitely get in. If the Bills win, maybe it's a 3-point win. This is definitely going to be a close one.
Yeah, and the Bills, I mean, they beat up on the Raiders last week, right? Was that who they played?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The Raiders aren't going to put up much of a fight against them. We saw that they do have vulnerabilities against the Jets. They couldn't beat up on Zach Wilson. Kind of sad. I think Sam Howell is going to expose them.
And Josh Allen is known to be up and down. It's not crazy to think that this Washington defense could, rile up some turnovers and cause some problems.
You want to get into your place?
Oh yeah. So for my first play, I threw this one out on Twitter. For you guys is 49ers minus 10.5. Just like we were talking about with the Giants, I don't really think this team is any good. Daniel Jones looks like he should have never been paid. Maybe he got paid and now he's getting lazy. But against this stacked 49ers team on a short week, no Saquon Barkley, it's an easy 49ers win for me. This is definitely a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't care if the game's in San Francisco. I don't care if it's in New York, right? Christian McCaffrey is going to run all over them. I think he's going to run so much over them that they're going to take him out by like the third quarter. It's 49ers. I could see it by 20.
And the game is in San Francisco, so
Okay.
they're traveling across the coast on a short week at that. Everything is going against the Giants for this game.
Yep. Momentum is completely on the 49ers side. I like this pick as well.
Yeah. Next up, I got the Steelers money line sitting at plus 120 right now against the Raiders. The Raiders have been terrible on defense. They allowed a scoring opportunity on 60% of their defensive drives. So that means you're coming away with a field goal or touchdown 60% of the time. And then I think the Steelers defense is just bounced back after that first game against the 49ers. So Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have a hard time. And this is an easy Steelers money line for me.
Okay. Honestly, if I had to handicap this game, I think I would pick the Raiders just because the Steelers last week, even though they won that game, I think their run and pass efficiency was like historically bad. They are so bad on offense right now that I think neither of these teams are going to be able to put up points against each other. Raiders squeak by a victory like 17-16 or something like that. But I
Yeah, I
could see
definitely
that.
see this game as something that's going to be a grind out, low scoring game. The Steelers have had problems on their offense, but against such a bad Raiders defense, I gotta hope that they get some kind of. I'm basically just taking the better defense. I'm taking the better defense than the Steelers to win the game.
That's fair. I could see it going either way. I'm not taking the Raiders as a play myself, so
Next up, I got the Eagles -4.5 versus the Bucks. This is just the Eagles are just a better team than the Bucks. I think this is the time that the Baker magic that he's been doing for the last 2 weeks is ending. So we'll see the much better team roll over the Bucks. I know this is one that you got coming up on your spread,
yep. I
but I'll let you give
actually
me a Bucks argument.
yeah, I got the other side of it. I mean, Baker, I mean, what did this guy take in the offseason? He looks like a completely changed person. He's throwing DBs back, stiff arming them, right? He's up in their face. He's riled up. Like that's what you want to see out of your quarterback. That'll get your line motivated, your defense motivated, right? I think he's got this team going in the right direction for the lack of talent that they have. I could see them winning outright against the Bucks. Shopped around, got +5. Rob got -4.5. So definitely make sure you look at different books so you can get,
The
the
line you
side of the
want.
line that you want. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I I think that the Baker he probably does have this team riled up as their quarterback, but being riled up is only going to get you but so far. They played the Vikings, who is a good offensive team, but not so much on defense, and we know that the Bears are in shamble. So I think it's against the big boy Eagles. We got this.
We'll see. I'm on the other side for this one. And I'm actually playing this one.
And for my last pick, we got the Rams +3 versus the Bengals. So we got Joe Burrow. He's in question if he's going to play or not. If he does go out, if he does get called to play, I like this line up to, as long as I'm getting like +6, I'm still going to take the Rams, even with Joe Burrow playing. I just think that offense, even with him, has been terrible this year, and the Rams they've looked really good. Matthew Stafford has a new weapon in Puka to help him with Cooper Kupp's out. It's going to be crazy to see that team when they both get back. So I'm going to take the Rams +3.
Yeah, I mean, wherever Puka came from, he's been lighting up whoever he plays against. I think he had 15 receptions last week. Just on
Yeah.
PPR alone, he's got 15 points in fantasy. That's insane. But do you think this Bengals line is sitting at -3 because they think Burrow's going to play?
Yeah, I think that's the Burrow going to play line probably.
Okay.
If it moves, if they call Burrow out and it moves to Rams positive, I mean, I'll still take it. I took him with Burrow, so yeah, I'll take it.
It's if Burrow gets ruled out, it would go to the Rams maybe being favored. Would you still take that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I mean, as a Bengals fan, again, disagree with you here. I think they're going to win it outright with or without Burrow, but I don't hate this pick. I'm not going to be playing the Bengals straight up.
You got the Bengals beating them without Burrow.
I got them in the sweaty 16 no matter what happens. I think I don't know who is coming in at quarterback, but it's going to be a shit show, and Joe Mixon will figure it out. They'll just run the ball.
We'll see. I think if Joe Burrow doesn't play, this is an easy Rams play. I get the better coaching staff. I get the better offense. Yeah.
All right, that's fair. All right, my picks, other than that Washington pick we talked about, I have the Saints +2. I saw it move to +1.5 versus the Packers. I still like that. I mean, I don't understand why they're underdogs here, right? Haven't the Saints shown more to us than the Packers have so far? Jordan Love just like falling over on the most important snap of the game, kind of embarrassing, but it
I mean,
happens.
I think they were saying that this is pretty much an even game. I mean, the Packers are at home, right? So
I
plus
think
two.
so.
They give the home team like 3 points. So they're basically saying the Packers and Saints are arguably the same.
Yep.
Um,
I don't agree with
I
that
don't
straight
I
up.
don't think they are.
Yeah.
So I'd agree with that Saints pick.
Yep. Easy one. I'm taking them 2 points too. Come on, man. I mean, I'm gonna book it at 1.5 before it goes down even more tonight. But we've been seeing some weird line movement where it goes the way we want it to all throughout the week, and then right before the game starts, it goes the opposite direction, like a lot.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like the Colorado lines. It's just
Mm-hmm.
something's going on with the books in Vegas this year. I don't know what kind of games they're trying to play.
Yep. Big betters, maybe. My next play, that's not. I'm just gonna skip over the Bucks one since we already talked about that. The Raiders Steelers under. I mean, I think these are just two trash offenses against a really good Steelers defense, and then the Raiders defense is not good. Yeah, I'll admit that, but I think the Steelers offense is bad enough to make up for that, and we'll get under the 43 points. Vegas is saying
Yeah, I
for
like
this
that
game.
play to see two just bad offense. One mediocre offense and a bad offense duel it out to under 43. I like that play.
Yep. Just hoping for no scoring and a. I mean, Steelers are always defensive minded. TJ Watt has, I think, the most pressures so far this year, living up to the hype. Only one
Yeah,
sack last week, but we'll see if he can get there.
18 and counting.
Broncos, Dolphins over 48 is my last play. I played the opposite of this last week. The Broncos Commanders under, thinking it was going to be a defensive style game. It was the exact opposite. It almost doubled the total. I mean, if it went to overtime, it probably would have gotten close to doubling the total. But um, I think the Broncos defense is a bit overrated, and I think the Dolphins will be able to do even more against them than the Commanders were.
Yeah, I like this. I like this line. You get the Dolphins, who are just instant offense right now. Tyreek Hill, it can do whatever he wants. Um, and you got Sean Payton still trying to figure out this offense with Russell. So I can definitely see them, getting into a shootout with the Dolphins.
That Hail Mary was incredible last week, though. But then you can't get the 2 point conversion. Come on. So sad.
That was a really good game, man.
The Broncos have let me down so much already this year. Broncos
I
country,
told you
let's
they're bad. They're not
yeah.
good.
They're not. I Yep, you were right about that one. They just completely let me down. All right. To recap our NFL plays, our common play is the Washington Commanders 6.5 point underdogs against the Bills. And then our conflicting plays, Rob took the Eagles spread versus the Bucks, and I took the Bucks spread versus the Eagles. Rob has 49ers 10.5 point favorites against the Giants kicking off in just about half an hour. Steelers money line against the Raiders, and the Rams 3 point underdogs against the Bengals. I have the Saints 1.5 or 2 point underdogs against the Packers. Raiders Steelers under 43, and Broncos Dolphins over 48. You want to move on to some college football?
Yeah, let's go. I can start us off. I got Ole Miss versus Alabama plus 6.5. I think this is a game where um, Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin coming in, former assistant to Nick Saban, he's not scared of the spotlight to come to play against Nick Saban, and this team has been in kind of iffy on the offense. With them starting two different quarterbacks last week, and now going back to the freshman Jalen, you just got to wonder if they're even gonna have that much of expansive offense to really win this game.
Yeah, I mean that other quarterback that they brought in instead of Jalen did not look good at
No,
all.
yeah,
Jalen was the right choice.
yeah.
I don't know why
So
they even went back on him. To be honest, I mean it's the second game of the season. How are you already benching him for somebody else? You're killing his confidence.
exactly, and that's what I think that the Ole Miss will just capitalize on that. They don't really know what they want to do at quarterback,
Hmm.
um, and the Ole Miss offense can score.
Yeah.
So if Alabama's game plan is we're going to turn all our games into defensive low scoring games, I don't think this is the game script for that.
Do you know where the game is?
It's at Alabama.
Okay. They have that going for them, but I still like Ole Miss, honestly. I like this play.
Yeah.
Might take them outright.
Next up, I got Washington State plus 2.5 versus Oregon State. Um, I like this play as an outright play as well. Washington State has shown that they can score. They've put up 40 points per game against two Power Five opponents that they played this year. They're one of the only teams that have already played two Power Five teams. Um, so yeah, and then I generally think that this game is going to be a shootout, so I would lean on the over as well. But I'm taking Washington State over at
Hmm.
home against Oregon State.
Pac-12 has some pretty crazy quarterbacks.
Yeah, they Oregon State bring in DJ. I'm not even going to try to say his last name and mess it up. But he's playing great since leaving Clemson. He definitely looks like he has a chance of being an NFL prospect
Hmm.
again.
Then the Penix Jr. guy uh at Washington, incredible stuff last week again against Michigan State. Then we got Bo Nix at Oregon. We'll see what he can do against Colorado, which is actually a play by both of us this week.
Yeah. And lastly, I got USC minus 35 versus Arizona State. Arizona State has just been garbage. They lost 24-0 to Fresno State, and only beat Southern Utah, an FCS team, by 3.
No,
Um,
man.
you're going against the future number 1 pick in Caleb Williams. It's not going to be a nice time.
Yeah, man. I mean, only 35 points. We've seen lines in the 40s
Exactly. I don't. Yeah.
against Caleb Williams. Yeah. I might add this play to my card as well. That's too little points. I can't believe I'm saying that at 35.
Yeah, it's too low, man.
With the blowouts
Way
we've
too
seen
low.
so far. I hinted at this earlier. Our first common play in college football, we have Colorado 21-point underdogs against Oregon. I mean, dude, 21 points. This is a team that's covered the spread 2 times so far, and you're going to make them 21-point underdogs against the
Yeah,
Oregon Ducks, who haven't proven much.
yeah. I just don't understand the reasoning behind this 21-point spread. When I saw it, I was just like, I got to take it no matter what. I don't even need to look up any data, anything. It's like kind of like when you're playing poker and you got you're beat, and this guy just puts in a bet. And you're like, I want you to show me your cards. I just need to know that you had me beat. So that's
Exactly.
exactly what I'm taking on the approach with Vegas on this plus 21. I'm putting
Way too
at least
many points.
on
Yeah,
this game.
way too many points. I mean, they've won us money the first 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
ride it till it dies. And next we have Penn State wearing the jersey minus 14 against Iowa. It's our whiteout game, and if you guys haven't been to a whiteout, some of you maybe have. That atmosphere is just completely terrifying to play in as an opposing team. I think Iowa isn't ready for it, and we're going to blow them out at home.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't shown that they had the offense to really hang with us if this game turns into a shootout, and I don't really think our defense will allow it to be. They're strictly a run team, and our run defense has been one of the best in the country so far.
Hmm. Which year was it when we were playing Iowa and our quarterback got hurt and we lost late? 23 to
Mm,
20. It was on my plane ride back. It's the person next to me kept elbowing the remote and it went to Big Ten Network and it was showing that game and it
no
just got
way.
me riled up again.
Why would they show that? No one needs to see that.
Messed up, man. Yeah. But yeah, we're getting our revenge for sure. Just a better
Yeah,
team, straight up, and we're gonna show that okay, we can do it against the better teams as well.
exactly. Yeah, I think this is a easy play here.
Mm-hmm. And my only other play that I have is primetime game Notre Dame +3 against Ohio State. Uh, Notre Dame has just shown me more than Ohio State has, and since they're getting the points, I'm gonna take the points. Right?
Yeah, I was looking at this game really hard. I'm leaning Ohio State, but I'm not really sure. These are two really good teams. This is definitely a game that I want to watch this weekend. I think it's a stay away bet for me. Um, but good call on the taking the points.
Yeah, I mean, you just have more points on one side of the football, and it's a toss up, right? I think the -3 completely goes towards the Ohio State fan base that will be betting on them. That's where the handle is this game.
Maybe.
Yeah, that rounds out our college plays. Rob's got Ole Miss 6.5 point underdogs against Bama, Washington State 2.5 point underdogs against Oregon State, USC 35 point favorites against Arizona State. I have Notre Dame 3 point underdogs against Ohio State, and then our common plays we have Colorado 21 point underdogs against Oregon, and Penn State 14 point favorites against Iowa. Moving on to our parlays. Rob, you want to give us your first +1,000 parlay?
Yes. So starting off with my parlay, we got Aston Villa double chance, so that's including the win and the tie, -28 versus Chelsea. Chelsea has just struggled to score over the last few games. Starting off the season, they've scored 5 goals, 3 against Luton Town, who's in last place. So I take Aston Villa to just come in there and put up a couple goals, and Chelsea won't be able to respond.
Can see
Next
that.
up, I got Florida State -28, -128 versus Clemson. We've already seen Florida State prove that they can win on the road, um, doing it against Boston College, even though they didn't cover for us last week. And I just don't like this Clemson team, so I'm going to take Florida State on here. And I got Brighton money line versus Bournemouth. I think they're a better team, can score a lot of goals. Bournemouth's at the bottom of the table, so I don't see it as much contest. And lastly, we have Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid. This is a Spanish league match. It's going to be the Madrid derby, and Real Madrid owns Atletico.
Yep.
It's something like a 5-to-1 ratio on wins. So I'm just going to take
It's not
the
much of a
Madrid
derby.
heritage. Yeah.
Oh man. That puts you at 1,075 plus 1,075 for your total odds, right?
Yeah. Just
I like
squeaking in
that.
there over 1,000.
I like that. Lots of soccer. Then throwing in the cash cow Florida State.
Yeah.
For my +1,000 bet, I went with a 6-team NFL only money line parlay. I have the Lions over the Falcons, Raiders over the Steelers, Eagles over the Bucks, even though I took the Bucks spread, Dolphins over the Broncos, Ravens over the Colts, and Browns over the Titans. The Ravens are the only huge favorite that I took. The Dolphins, you could argue as well. And then the Lions, Raiders, and Browns, I think they pull out those tough, close games against their weaker opponents.
Yeah, I really like this play. I think, outside of the Raiders over the Steelers, you got some a good mix of some close games and some favorites. Um, I'm wondering that Ravens line. I wonder if you can get a better price if Anthony Richardson is, because we haven't claimed if he's going to play or not. So maybe you might even be able to get a better price on that during the week. Well, no, it'll get worse for you if he
If
doesn't play.
is he currently ruled in or out?
He's still in concussion protocol.
Interesting. So this might be an Anthony Richardson is not going to play line.
Yeah, this might be the one.
Maybe I'll wait and get some better odds on that. Good call. But yeah, that puts me currently at a total of plus 1,023, just barely breaking over that 1,000 mark. But yeah, just a simple NFL money line parlay. Don't overthink it. Do your job, you know.
Yeah, everybody's got to do their job.
Do your freaking job. And for my second parlay, I decided to go with an anytime touchdown parlay. I have Kenneth Walker the third. I mean, he's showing us this year that he's the guy can run. He can run.
Yeah.
And he can get
Except
in the end zone too.
And then he can't run.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill as well against that terrible Broncos defense that we saw last week. And Joe Mixon finally gets into the end zone, whether Joe Burrow's playing or not. Maybe it'll be the Bengals' only touchdown of the night. But I think Joe's going to be the one getting it. And that puts me at a total of plus 596 on the parlay.
Okay, for my plus 500 parlay, I took a bit of a cheat here. I'm going Colorado money line plus 660. I got an NFL quarterback. I got Deion Sanders. Show me that they can easily beat him. Plus 600.
Tom Brady is texting him after every game, telling him what he should be doing. Like, come on, dude. Like, anything could happen here. Plus 660. That's just incredible value for a single game. Yeah, don't parlay that with anything. I like that one. All right. And last but not least, the Sweaty 16. We'll go like we did last week. The ones in common, we have the 49ers, Lions, Commanders, Dolphins, Jaguars, Ravens, Browns, Seahawks, Chiefs, Cowboys, and Eagles. While the ones that we have conflicting, the toss-up, we just picked different sides. I got the Chargers, you got the Vikings. I think this loss for the Vikings might spell the end of Kirk Cousins' time there, and he might get shipped off to the Jets.
Oh, I mean, I like that for the Jets. I like if the Jets can call up the Vikings and get Kirk Cousins, do it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Um,
and then the Vikings just take for Caleb Williams.
It's gonna be a fun game. I definitely see a lot of points in this game. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Then after they get rid of Kirk, they just lose every game till Caleb Williams. Pick one.
There's only one Caleb Williams to go around, and we got a lot of bad teams.
Yeah. The Vikings and Bears are going to be in a duel when they play each other 2 times this year.
But the crazy thing is, the Bears could have had a new quarterback if they wanted one. They already stuck beside Justin Fields, trading the way to pick. Do you flip-flop the next year?
I think they're going to stick with Fields. I don't think the Bears are going to go with a new quarterback right away. I think it's going to be somebody else. We'll see.
I would love for Justin Fields to get traded. Like, every day I wish that Justin Fields gets traded to Atlanta, because Justin Fields in that offense would be...
It would be perfect.
Perfect.
Yep. He just doesn't work with the Bears. The next we got opposite sides on another toss-up. Honestly, this might be the grossest game on the slate this week. The Patriots and the Jets. Mac Jones against Zach Wilson. Come on, man.
Here you go.
Yeah, so this last week I've been in Boston listening to Boston sports radio talking about we might actually be able to win this game, right? Like, they're talking about it like that. Then the last 2 days I've been in Newark, New Jersey listening to New York sports radio, And they're saying the same thing. They're saying we might actually be able to win this one.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how this line is 2.5, 3.
Yeah,
This seems like a pick 'em if
it
there was
should be
ever
a
a pick
pick 'em.
'em.
Yep. They're
Yeah.
just going with Mac Jones is a slightly better quarterback than Zach Wilson. And he is. You can't
Yeah.
say he's not. Zach Wilson is so bad.
That is kind of a fact. But how much better are we talking?
Yeah,
I don't. Man.
it's a tough one. Then we got our next one, Saint. I have the Saints. You have the Packers. Are you sure you're going with the Packers here?
Did I write the Packers?
Yeah, you wrote the Packers down. Did you mean
I'm
the
on
Saints?
Bad
All
notes.
right,
Bad notes.
we're
Definitely on the
flip
Saints.
flopping. We're on the Saints. All right, then that means we only have 4 not in common. The next one is, we've already alluded to this one, Steelers Raiders. We're just on opposite sides on this one. See what happens.
See what happens.
And we also talked about the other one as well. I'm on the Bengals no matter what, right? They have to win eventually. That team has to win a game eventually. They're too talented not to. Maybe they just figure it out this week. Joe Burrow or not.
0-17 hasn't been done yet. Maybe you guys are going to make history this year, just not the way you thought.
Oh man. That would be tough.
You guys aren't going 0-17.
Yeah.
I agree. You're going to win a game at some point, but not
It's gotta
against
happen.
the Rams, not against Aaron Donald and Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. They're too veteran to sneak a win against.
I just think the Rams are way above expectations and the Bengals are way below expectations, and that's going to level out this week.
We'll see.
Little regression, little progression.
I know from your standpoint, you gotta hope.
I need it, man. I need it. I can't watch another. Oh my God, it's gonna be in prime time too. They really can't. They really can't play like they've been playing. I'm not gonna have eyeballs for our next show if they keep playing like this. It's tough, man. But yeah, those parlays come out to a lot of money. Put the numbers on the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that rounds out the show. Anything else you want to tell the people, Rob?
That's all I got for you this week.
Cool. All right. Well, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Twitter, TikTok, they're in the description. Join our Discord as well. It's been great talking to you again, Rob. We'll see what happens. Go 49ers tonight.
I think we got about 20 minutes to kickoff. So
Yep.
Go football.
Yep. All right. See y'all.
See ya.